Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the PokerGO podcast. My name is Donnie Peters. His name is Tim Duckworth. It is Freaky Friday the 13th, baby, and we are here at the 2025 World Series of Poker. That's right, baby. D-Negs, who's doing some work. We'll get on that in a little bit. Tim wrote down Scary Friday the 13th show. Don't know why it's scary, but here
Isn't Friday
we
the 13th
are.
always scary? Isn't that the thing?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, look, we have a new mascot. We got a tram on your head. I'm wearing pink. It's Scary Freaky Friday.
All right, whatever you say, sir. Philip Sternheimer winning the 10K PLO8. Two players returned, and he came out on top for his first gold bracelet. We'll talk about that. We got an interview with Sternheimer. It's a good one, so make sure you stay tuned to listen to that. Joao Vieira won his fourth WSOP gold bracelet. He took down the 100K No Limit Hold'em high roller. We'll also hear from him when he talks with Jeff Platt. The $1,500 H.O.R.S.E is down to the final two. They're playing heads up about 100 yards away from us. So it might happen that we get a winner live on the show. If not, we'll obviously wrap this one up on the next episode. D-Negs, I already mentioned him. He is currently leading the way in the 10K limit hold'em. We have a bit of some breaking news as it relates to that event. We'll get to that as well. Huge field. Huge. Some might even say massive.
Massive.
In the 5K seniors high roller. We got the monster stack, the monster mash.
I was thinking.
He's
been singing
mash.
all before we even had the cameras.
The
oh my God.
I love it every time, right? Every time this event comes around, I sing that song. Monster Stack drew more than 2,600 entries on this starting fight. Still one starting fight to go. And then we'll touch on whatever else is happening around the World Series of Poker. If you are ready to play online poker, hop on in to playpokergo.com and get started playing for free. That's right, I said for free because it is for free. You guys can get in there. You can get some chips to start. They're called gold. You can also spin a wheel every 2 hours. You can open a treasure chest. You can get all this different stuff. Then you can get in on the tables. They got ring games. They got tournaments. They got sit and goes, and you can battle with real people just like Tim, just like me. Look, tram stop right here. This is like Tim's hat.
Yeah.
What does it say, though?
It says Melbourne. And there's a tram.
And you still got the tag on it.
Well, yeah, I just got it from a loyal listener, Paul Berman.
Yeah, shout out Paul. Literally brought a suitcase
of snacks.
This big of
we got some right here.
Australian snacks, which
I got a couple right here.
We got
right there.
We got a special episode thing planned later on, but
yeah,
we'll do that at a later date. But anyway, playpokergo.com. It's available on web. It's available on iOS. It is available on Android. So check it out today. Check it out often. Check it out every day. Every single day. Before we get to all the news and all the happenings, I do want to do a little special edition community cards. Okay? So let's hit the jingle. Tim will do his dance, and then we'll come on back and we'll do this thing.
And it's time for a new edition of the PokerGO Podcast Community Cards.
Alrighty. I honestly don't even know if you actually dance like to the music.
I got no idea. I'm sure producer Rich has a fun time doing whatever he wants to do with that little dance I did for him.
So I thought today, I've been neglecting the podcast email inbox.
Mm-hmm.
So I might as well get on in there.
Okay.
So I got on in there, and I just want to, go through some of the stuff that we have. I remember we did ask for people to send in some photos and stuff of their collectibles.
Yes, that's right.
So
yes.
Hopefully, if Rich is up to it, producer Rich, shout out. Don't mean to make you do more work, but I'm about to make you do more work.
Isn't that why we pay him the big bucks?
We're going to show things like on the right here on the screen. But there's also a couple ones that are just, or some messages. We got Mark B. He sent this before the WSP. Sorry, Mark. I'm just getting to it now because I'm an idiot and I forgot. He said the app feels like it's going to be a massive improvement. Shout out massive. Over Bravo, and definitely make things much simpler for myself as a non-US player. Anyway, great to have you back. The hype for the WSP starts with the PokerGO pod. He also asked about hats this year. Yes, we got them.
Eventually.
We got them. and he said he'll be out in late June. Also, I just want to say that if Rich is getting mad that we're burying the lead because we're doing this first, I want to give back to the community first before we get into the news. So whatever. All right, Mark. So if we got hats, then great. You'll have to hit us with a password, but Tim is not letting us reserve any. So
nope, none.
I mean, you just got to try and get one. And I think we gave out like 7 today. Michael L., big fan of the pod, 2-time investor in DPMC. He's also an investor in DPMD. He sent in something funny. This was ahead of the fantasy draft.
Okay.
He said, I was listening to the latest episode. Not long after the 25K fantasy was mentioned, I passed John Riordan Plumbing. And he sent a picture of John Riordan Plumbing.
He has 2 jobs. He's a poker player and a plumber.
No wonder he's got so much money.
Jeez.
Plumbing's hot.
Yeah.
It's absolutely hot.
Always need a plumber.
John Riordan Plumbing, shout out to them. No free ads, but, if they're in their area, let's go. Michael already added, I'm not sure if it's a sign that you should get him or that he'll play like shit.
That's pretty good, right? That's pretty good.
Or that he's destined to make infinite flushes.
Whoa.
I mean, Michael's just got it.
Yeah, he's got it.
He's got it. Trevor V. So he sent in a photo of a 3D printed pull-apart magnet Oreo dealer chip for home games. Obviously, Teddy KGB themed from Rounders, right?
This is beautiful.
That's cool. Trevor, I need to know how to get my hands on one of those.
We need one each.
Mark K, a.k.a. Grateful Mouse. Here's a photo of my favorite collectible item that I've attained over the years. I have lots of good things. This is probably the best one. So he won it at an auction. It went to charity for Camp Sunshine up in Maine. That's kind of my neck of the woods.
Okay.
Phil Locke, wore this hoodie during the Guinness Book of World Records longest session run, which I believe he did at Bellagio.
Yeah.
He signed it. So did Jennifer Tilly. He wears it all the time. Does Mark. He put a couple patches on it. He shared it with us. So thank you for that, Mark.
That's cool.
We got Ryan, who said he's been a loyal listener for years. He got a hat a couple of years ago from Donnie at the South Point meetup. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
Last year, he got the hat family pot. This year, though, he spent the first week at the WSOP. He came by. He said he watched us on the podcast for a while without bugging you. Okay.
That was maybe when we did one out there on the floor. Possibly.
I'm just trying to wonder if I need to file for like a restraining order for a stalker. What is this?
These are all our friends. These are our family. These are our loyal listeners.
Our friends. Yeah, Mr. Ryan over here just creeping on us. He said that during a mad break rush in the hallway, Tim was swimming upstream when he and I came upon each other. You looked up and said, "Nice hat" to him. He had on last year's hat while playing the event. And he also said, by the way, I cashed. Good luck, hat on. It caught Ryan a little bit by surprise, and he said, Timmy, back. Do you remember this?
I remember saying something. I rember walking by someone and said, nice hat, but I kept going. I think I was in a rush to get somewhere. So.
Well, he yelled Timmy. So you are now Timmy.
All right, Timmy. I like Timmy.
Jake S. said that he has a collectible item. At the 2010 WSOP, he actually has the exact date, June 12th, 2010. Hey, he had a number of top names in poker sign a brand new Binion's Horseshoe hat. He purchased the hat at the Horseshoe the day before. Some of the names are difficult to make out on here, but he has names for Doyle Brunson, Todd Brunson, Mike Sexton, Mike Matisow, Phil Hellmuth, Daniel Negreanu, Jennifer Harmon, Ellie Lesra, Dennis Phillips, Eric Lindgren, Tom Dwan, Sammy Farha. And then he also put in the email that this one might have lowered the value, or these two names, Chris Ferguson and Howard Lederer, are also on the hat. So shout out to Jake S. for that hat. That looks pretty sweet. And that's truly one of a kind item. And then John Michael, can't always watch and listen to the pod when it drops. I just got through today's. This was a couple days ago. And I'm loving it. My name is John Michael, but a lot of my friends call me JM. When Dylan says it, he sounds like he's saying jam. Remember this?
This was like 2 days ago.
Yes. I remember this. Come to think of it, kind of sounds that way. A lot of people say it. It's really cool to make the pod again. Dylan is the real star here, though. Thank you again, Tim, for all that you do. Shout out to you, buddy. Timmy. Want to make sure and drop you a line and say, definitely don't send me a hat if it came to that. I've got one now. So there you go. John Michael, a.k.a. Jam. New nickname. All right. Let's get into the real nitty gritty of it. I'm sure producer Rich is pretty pissed that we just
buried the lead. He might be
already.
asleep already. He might have gone back to bed.
It does not matter.
Yeah.
No, listen, I always give the time, right? A little bit earlier.
Early.
We want to try and get out early. You got some birthday party thing. You got to be a dad tomorrow. 11:38 p.m. is the time right now. Rich is usually up at 5 a.m. editing the pod. So, we're just all over the place trying to get this out to you guys.
Because sometimes you forget.
I don't ever
accidentally
forget.
Don't put in the video files.
I don't know. I told you the other day that I don't like to go to sleep until it's up. But if I don't do that, it's an extra 40 minutes to my day. And I have been gambling and going to sleep. And then, of course, this one time it didn't go through. I honestly think my internet went out in the middle of the night. That's what happened. Because there was some other stuff that I was like, oh, I guess the internet must have went out. But, okay. Phil Sternheimer winning the 10K PLO8 Championship. He topped a field of 386 entries to win $763,000. He beat Bruno Firth in heads-up play, denying Firth a second gold bracelet of the series. I'm curious to know, as a quick aside, and you don't have to look this up, I'm just thinking out loud, but what did Firth win first?
What do you mean?
What was his first event that he won?
Was in the 15...
Was it the mixed Omaha? Is that what he won?
Was it the mixed Omaha? Yeah.
I don't remember what he won. Look up what he won. But what I'm thinking is that Benny Glaser, right? He won 2 $1,500 bracelets. Okay. What did Firth win?
Firth won the 5K PLO.
Okay. So a 5K PLO plus a second place in a 10K, how would that rate POI ranking compared to Benny Glaser winning 2 $1,500 bracelets? Which one is worth more points? I would guess it's Bruno Firth, right? Because it's 2 $1,500s.
I think,
versus a first in a 5K and a second in a 10K.
But the old point system, first used to be double second in points.
Yeah, but don't you get a whole bunch more points based on buy-in? And
I think they've changed it now, but I haven't really studied it. Side note on Bruno Firth: between his first and his second, he went to the win and won a 2,200 pot limit Omaha event for 150K. So
of course he did.
PLO magician over here. Sternheimer
was extremely emotional, both immediately in victory and then also afterwards. He doubled up at one point during heads up play, and he kind of started. He let out a lot of emotion, was flexing, yelling, went around, gave a whole bunch of high fives and hugs to his fans on his rail. I was standing at the table and I was like, well, he didn't win because I knew that Bruno Firth had more chips, but he kind of was acting. It seemed like he might have thought that he won. I don't think that he did, but it had that type of emotion.
Got it.
He gets back down. They go back and forth for a while longer. Eventually, Sternheimer seals the deal. Another big, emotional eruption. This time he knew he won it. And he goes over, he hugs everyone on his rail. And then he called his family. He's holding the bracelet over the phone and started crying. So you could definitely tell how much this meant to Phil Sternheimer. He's been in the game for a couple decades now, playing the absolute highest stakes and battling with some of the best. But until this point, a bracelet has eluded him. And afterwards, he was kind enough to sit down and do an interview. So let's hear from Phil Sternheimer, and then we'll come on back and we'll talk more about it.
I can't believe it. As I was walking to the tournament today, I was thinking to myself, I probably never wanted anything as bad as this one. And I was trying not to indulge in those thoughts because I find these kind of what if thoughts, what if you win, what if you don't win, to be distracting. But it means the world, you kind of know that at the end, there's so much luck involved and all you can do is make the right decisions. But to have something really tangible to show after all these years of trying, it just feels just unbelievably. I quit my job 2 years ago, and I've been studying the game a lot. I would say in the last 6 months more than ever before. And what you realize about poker then, the more time you spend on it, is how little you actually know. So I think I'm a much better player this year than last year. And if I hadn't won one, I felt I was due this year, but I know a lot of players that are as good, if not better than me, that I've been playing for way longer than that at that level and still haven't won a bracelet. So I wouldn't say overdue, but maybe just due. I gotta talk to my wife first. We'd sort of agreed that this might be my last sort of World Series where I come out for several weeks. because it is a huge sacrifice. I quit my job primarily to spend more time with the family, so it's kind of counterintuitive to be here for 5-6 weeks away from them. But for me, this is just the most amazing time of the year to be able to play and compete at all different buy-in levels and all different formats of poker, which, as you know, I don't just play one game, I play all the games or aspire to, surrounded by people that I really like. It's just a very special time. I think at the 10K level, most of the fields are really, really tough. It's sort of ironic because I'm a planner, so I had mapped out my entire schedule in Excel, including planned breaks. And the PLO8 was actually supposed to be an event that I skipped to take a break. So, it's just the irony that maybe, and I also wouldn't have said that it's necessarily my best game. I do think the field in the PLO8 has been slightly weaker than in other 10Ks. You just have a lot of people that maybe play PLO that are sort of hopping in. But of course, the game actually plays quite differently. So that's just kind of the way it works, It is a relief, and on the one hand, I try to focus on inputs and on decisions, things that I can control, and I tell myself the outcomes will ultimately come. But of course, if you come up short a couple of times, my wife is half jokingly asking, when are you going to bring home like a big championship trophy or like a bracelet, And I am also very outcome oriented, We had a thing in my previous job where you also deal with a lot of uncertainty and incomplete information, and it was just be right. Yeah, I know, there's a lot of luck and stuff and complexity and things you don't know, but just be right. And, I feel like the mindset of a champion is also to sort of bring it home. So that's kind of the dichotomy in poker, and that there's so many things you can control, but then you also do want to ultimately have sort of the physical good at the end. And this is just great that for this event, those two things have married between playing well, making good decisions, and having the outcome in your favor. The bracelet is, it's nice. The respect of your peers is not necessarily linked to bracelets. I had someone from my sort of study group come up to me yesterday. He shall remain unnamed. And he was asking, half jokingly, when did you learn how to play poker? And it was actually a wonderfully backhanded compliment, And so everybody knows that some guy can show up, plays their first event and win a bracelet. You have unreal players. Chino's on my fantasy team has never won a bracelet. I could go down the list. I think all of these people are on the same level. And at the end, it's just really fine margins that make a difference. That river card comes differently. Comes a straight or a flush card for Bruno, and he has a massive chip lead pretty much and has me dead. So it's the turn of the card that can make all the difference, but that shouldn't change whether or not a player is respected, I think. It's just been a crazy stretch. This since I got here, I played 6 tournaments. I cashed 10 tournaments. I cashed in 6. I final table 2. I got really, really close on a dealer's choice where I had a chip lead. I was all in with aces against kings to go heads up with a chip lead. That didn't work out. But it's just somehow I just didn't let it sort of affect me as much as in the past. So it's just I had this serenity in terms of just take the outcome, whatever it might be, and just play as best as I can. So even if I airball all the remaining events, this is just a very special period of my life that I'll always remember.
You did it!
All right, that was Phil Sternheimer. Very thoughtful interview, very insightful. You can definitely tell how much winning a gold bracelet means to him. And, evidenced by the emotion that he showed in the wake of his win, combined with the words that he relayed in that interview, you can definitely tell that Sternheimer has been it's been on his mind quite a bit that he really wants to win. But also cool that you heard him say that this was going to likely be the last full summer for him. Him and his wife basically agreed that this would be the last full summer. Not that he wouldn't come out in future summers, yes, but just probably smaller stints, maybe do 1 or 2 trips, something like that, as opposed to staying out here for the whole 7 weeks. So cool to kind of in that last hurrah or last full hurrah, he's able to rip off a bracelet. He moved to 5th on the PGT leaderboard but you said now 6th. Is that
Well, yeah, we're going to talk about the next event that's going to move him down a bit.
That's because of Joao.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, cool. Well, still near the top, which is cool to see. I think he'll be someone who probably tries to compete in the top 40 and get into that championship. I would guess. I mean, I think Phil really likes the PGT. I think he loves to battle in the studio. Now, he might not show up for all of the No Limit series, but he's certainly always in there blasting in the mixed game stuff. Maybe he'll get in there for the PLO stuff as well. There's still plenty of PGT qualifying events here at the World Series of Poker. So a bunch of opportunities for Phil Sternheimer to get more points and ultimately finish in the top 40 so he can then qualify for the PGT $1 Million Championship. So great work by Phil. More history being made. You know, we had that really good night with Kuhn and Schulman. You know, Sternheimer, I think, is obviously a very deserving winner. A great winner. One of the absolute nicest guys in poker.
Yep, 100%.
He's always been super nice. And it's always, I don't know, it's kind of weird at first when somebody is, you know, I guess, like you know Phil is playing like 2K, 4K, 3K, 6K, like these massive, massive games, yet he's just a regular nice guy. Which, not that you shouldn't expect that from people, but you know, there's a lot of people in poker that are not like that.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of just wouldn't care to give you the time of day, but Phil is the complete opposite, and you absolutely love to see it. Another nice guy, Joao Vieira.
Yes,
won
very
the
nice.
Yes, won the 100K No Limit Hold'em high roller. This guy is one of the absolute best in the world, the best to ever do it. $2,649,000 for Vieira. He topped a field of 103 entries. A pretty long heads-up battle with Aram Aganyan. They swung the chip lead back and forth. They battled it out. But it was a lot of fun to watch. That one did stream on PokerGo, on the PokerGo YouTube channel. So if you missed it, highly encourage you to catch the replay. Andrew Lucky Chewy Lichtenberger was at this final table. Isaac Haxton was at this final table. Thomas Boyven was at this final table. I mean, it was a stacked event, of course. Stacked final table. We talked on the last episode about how Ivy blew it. You know, he
Washed up Ivy, yeah.
Yeah, he just absolutely blew it. But what are you going to do? 4th bracelet for Joao Vieira. Just a freaking crusher. What else has he won?
His 3 braces are in massive events, though. For 5K No Limit Hold'em,
Massive.
600, 760K there. That was in 2019. 2022, won the 50K high roller at the World Series for 1.4 million. And then 2023 online, he won the 25K GG Millions, 771K. But his last 6 months in poker, very, very incredible. WSOP Paradise in December, finished runner-up in the Triton main event for 2.6 million.
Runner-up to Alex Foxon.
Correct. Then, a couple months ago, Triton Jeju, he won the 150K No Limit Hold'em for 4.6 million. You throw in this score of 2.6 million, he's just swimming in millions the last 6 months. He's absolutely on a massive heater right now, crushing. And, you know, we talk about people running hard and maybe winning a second bracelet, getting that run to kind of accumulate result after result. I think we have to put Joao Vieira in that group with, you know, 3/4 of the World Series to go.
Well, Joao, we were just saying it. What an absolute battle. What did it take to get this done?
Get really lucky to start. Endure a lot of adversity and just stay in present, stay focused, and just do your best.
Late yesterday, you got a big bluff through against Phil Ivey. Without that getting through, you aren't here right now. Does that make that one of the most important plays of your career?
It was one of them. Yeah, if it doesn't fold, I'm obviously not here, but I can only control what I do. If I have ace-9 of clubs, Phil looks like a genius, like he has so multiple times, so I think people should give him a break. And I'm just happy that the river came and I was managed to bluff him off.
We've always admired the way you've handled yourself. How do you do it? How do you handle all of the swings that a tournament like this gives you?
It's important not to be entitled, not entitled. Where I started, where I am, has just been such a long way that if I would just feel entitled that I win 1.7 instead of 2.6, what a fucking prick would I be? So just mom and dad raised me well, older sister as well. They just kept me in check, and I know how blessed I am, and So I just keep it in perspective. It could have gone my way, could have gone Aram. Aram played really well. So I'm just happy it went my way.
And finally, right before I hand this to you, this is indeed bracelet number 4. Comes at the highest buy-in level out of all of your bracelets. Does it mean the most?
I think the first one always means a little bit
Sure.
the most, but it's amazing. Every day that you get up and have the chance to be doing this in this stage with these amazing people just feels great. So I'm just very happy that I won this one because it's the day of ones. It's the one that I'm about to savor, to enjoy. So yeah, it's all of them are really good here.
Where does it put him on the PGT leaderboard?
So that is his second cash, I believe, for the season. Doesn't play our events that often. Fourth cash of the season. He's in 26th place.
Okay.
But the biggest move is, you touched on Phil Sternheimer. We got to look at Lucky Chewy, runner up to Jason Kuhn, final table in this event. He is now 4th on the PGT leaderboard. He's also the 9th player to eclipse 1,000 points. So top 9 players all with 1,000 points. Nick Schulman's still on top, but he can be knocked off.
Of course, anyone can be
in
knocked
this
off.
event we're going to talk about soon.
Really? By who?
That guy right there, Mr.
Oh my
Daniel.
God, Mr. D-Nex. You think he still has this jersey? Like he should bust out the jerseys again.
I think on a vlog he's shown. I think where in his old house he had that closet where he had all his weight equipment. That's where he had all his jerseys. So I'm assuming in this new house with more rooms, he has a dedicated room that has all his,
Have you
jerseys.
seen his gym?
His
vlogs?
I think my gym is a pretty incredible gym.
Your
for a
gym
home
looks
gym.
like nothing compared to his.
But his
your gym
gym
is a closet compared to his
Yes.
gym. His gym looks like sometimes when I see the Rock's gym,
Yeah.
that looks like Daniel's gym. Like, what the hell is happening?
I think
how big is this gym?
You know what I'm most jealous about in his gym? Because he has a lot of equipment. I don't. If I had Daniel's money, I probably wouldn't have the same gym. But I like that you can open those doors, the sliding doors, and you can see the pool. You can see, the entire community. That's what I love the most. That's what I have the most jealousy over because I work out with my garage door up, and I'm just looking at a bit of the street, cars coming past.
I work out with my garage door up too.
Yeah, I don't have I don't have the $1 million view as they say Daniel has. I have more of the $600,000 view.
Damn, you got it like that? Jesus,
I can see some mountains. That's
how much
worth
they fucking pay you? What the fuck?
less than you, buddy.
This is not true.
I know
Clearly.
what you get for commentary.
Clearly,
And I don't do any
I get a
commentary.
whole ton of money. I'm just fucking rolling in it, bro. I'm just absolutely rolling. I'm out here begging to do more commentary so I can pay the bills.
You got
every
new
month.
hats every day.
Oh
Come
yeah,
on.
new hats.
You got
every
so
day.
many hats you can put them on
All of
Spalding,
my
our
hats are
mascot.
company hats that, like this one, we go to the store and we steal them. Okay,
Yeah, we
That's
need
what
to
do.
return this hat. At least tell Jason.
No, we don't. We're leaving
it's
it here.
ours. It's
We're leaving it
Spalding's.
here till July. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
all right.
Sorry. Speaking of Daniel Negreanu, he's leading the 10K limit hold'em, or he was leading.
yeah, let's have
he had a bunch of chips, so he's
I'll pull the
right
chip
there.
counts up.
118 entries in this one. 18 were in the money. $282,000 for first place. We're getting a lot of clapping over there. Does that mean we have a winner or just a big pot?
Big pot. I'm going to say big pot.
12 remain. Still 12? Over in that limit hold'em?
We still have 12. Negreanu's dropped out of the lead. He's 5th in chips right now. Victor Blom, chip leader. Another guy, a little nemesis with Daniel Negreanu, Ryan Bambrick, who, if you have been following the World Series, defeated Daniel Negreanu, heads up to win his second bracelet.
All three of them are at the same final table.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of crazy
That
if they
would be
all
really
then
cool,
made
yeah.
this final table together.
Yep. Throw in Anthony Zeno.
Zeno.
Ian John, Scott Bowman chasing a second bracelet.
This guy, David Lieberman.
Yeah.
I'd never seen him before in my life. Absolute wild
Yeah,
card.
wild.
Chaos out there with this guy. He busted WSOP before the money. He just kept checking dark and calling. And
Isn't that how you're supposed to play limit hold'em?
it was like the board was like ace, and then like a middle card and a deuce.
Okay.
WSOP had, I think he had like ace 8. And the guy had a deuce, jack deuce. I don't know. I don't even know how he got in the hand with jack deuce, but he was just check calling dark and then rivet a jack.
Perfect.
WSOP
Sounds like
was
ideal
not
strategy.
happy. Scott Bowman is also still in this event. He won the 2K no limit hold'em already at this World Series poker. We have had a lot of sweats for double bracelets.
Yeah.
In this event alone, we have Ryan Bambrick, we have Scott Bowman that could potentially win a second bracelet this summer, joining Benny Glazer with that achievement. I would like Jeremy Osmus to win because,
Yes.
he's on our
That would be
fantasy
good.
team. That would be excellent if Jeremy could spin it up over there. He's Saw me at one point when they got in the money. Came over. He said, "Another min cash for the team." Thanks, buddy.
That's not what we want, Jeremy. We need
buddy.
wins, bracelets.
You're $141. You're just min cashing your way. It's just incredible. You think he can min cash his way to 500 points? I don't think so. Okay.
Well, can he? You tell me.
No, he couldn't.
You need to cash like 50 events, right? Kind of thing.
If you min cashed, you could probably get to 250 or 300 if you min cashed at like literally every event.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just don't. I don't think that it could happen. But you never know. This episode of the PokerGo podcast is brought to you by True Classic, the only shirts we trust to look sharp and feel even better. You're not wearing anything under there. I have a True Classic t-shirt on. I have like 35 of them, honestly, and they're great. Whether you're grinding on the felt or heading out for the night, True Classic's fit is next level. Affordable, comfortable, and built for real guys. Go to True Classic Tees, spelled T-E-E-S at the end, trueclassictees.com, and upgrade your wardrobe today. I did see that they are having a Father's Day sale, so if that's still ongoing, I'm assuming it's going on for throughout the weekend, so you should definitely go check that out. Should also mention that the PokerGo shop is running a Father's Day sale through this weekend, 20% off at the PokerGo shop if you use the promo code DAD2025. So check that out, shop.pokergo.com. Tried to kind of hold off on talking about this one to see if we could get a winner, but we haven't gotten a winner.
Mm-hmm.
The $1,500 H.O.R.S.E is down to 2. Andre Zigaloff versus Thomas Taylor. Zigaloff won this event in like 2019, something like that. So obviously knows his way around a horse. Thomas Taylor was on my list for fantasy. We ultimately didn't draft him, but looking like he's going to have a very, very nice score. Could be his first WSOP gold bracelet as well. Marcel Vonk scored 3rd place in this one, and then after he busted, asked me for a podcast hat. Hit me with the password. It's just incredible stuff.
If he had asked earlier,
the old $92,000 podcast hat.
If he had asked earlier, he would still be playing right now. I'll tell him that.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But thank you, Marcel, for
thank you.
Chatting it up for a little bit there, getting a hat. Better luck in the next tournament. Maybe that's the 10K horse, and you can just go on and rip off that one. So Zigaloff and Taylor are playing for $198,000 up top. They're guaranteed $132,000. Linda Johnson busted in 10th. Alex Livingston busted in 15th. Nico Milgram busted in 16th. I saw some of his Instagram stories. He ran 2 big bluffs, one of which I saw. He had 10 high. It did not work in limit hold'em. He said on his Instagram story that he ran 2 bluffs. He was 100% sure that both would work, and neither of them worked. So
Nico,
that's how Nico's day went. Ari Engel 17th, Blaz Jerioff in 18th. Blaz is putting together a decent resume. He won that 25K 6 max, and then he had a deep run here, 18th in the $1,500 horse. Huge field over in that 5K seniors high roller. Yesterday they already beat the record, the field size from the year before. Last year it was 680. Yesterday they got 720 or something like that. They got over 800 total, 801, which is pretty crazy. They are down to what? How many? Do we know how many they're down to? A couple tables, like 3 tables.
50 of the 801. Yeah, they're down to.
Ramana Aparla. Sorry if I butchered that name, but current chip leader, it looks like, per pokernews.com. David Stam doing well. Friend of the podcast, David ODB Baker, is over there with the old guys doing it. Theo Jorgensen?
I know.
Theo Jorgensen is
He's
best?
back.
He's freaking back. That's awesome. You know who else was back today that we should have talked about? Joe Cassidy.
How about Boosted J?
He played the 10K limit hold'em had Boosted J, Joe Cassidy, Pat Peasant. I mean, what in the world is going on in that tournament?
This is
just simply incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible stuff. We got John Esposito over in this seniors high roller. Daniel Lowry, who was wearing a funky ass aluminum foil thing on his head, looked like an absolute alien over there.
Mike Mattisau. We got Billy Baxter. We got Scott Lazar.
Scott Lazar.
If anyone knows that name.
Scott Lazar. Call. I'll give you a gamble.
Call. I'll give you a gamble.
And here we go again. Lazar putting all his chips at risk.
I mean, absolutely golden moment in WSOP history. Scott freaking Lazar.
If we want to make producer Rich work a bit more, he would insert the Scott Lazar clip right about now.
I know for a fact that Rich will insert the Scott Lazar clip because Rich loves that clip. I think more than any other clip in the history of WSOP.
Really?
I'll give you a game. That was outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. That whole final table. One of the best things about that final table is that Hashem, like, they play like half the final table and you don't even see Joe Hashem.
Yeah, he doesn't play.
And then
him.
all of a sudden it's like Joe Hashem's like got the chip lead. It's like, where the hell did this guy come from? What just happened? And then the meltdown from Scott Lazar. And as it turns out, Scott and Joe are like great friends now. Like incredible friends. It's just, I love poker. It's the best effing thing in the world. It really is.
Rounding out the chip counts, Matt Glantz.
Matt
John
Glantz
Jawanda.
is doing it again.
Yep. They couple of the short stacks with
John
looks
Jawanda.
Like 50 left.
God. What a table this is.
This could be
what a tournament this is.
Paul Snead's still in.
He was the start of day chip leader.
Yeah, he's still in there. He's still grinding away, but yeah.
$646,000 up top. They are in the money. It was like 120 or something like that paid. Let me see exactly. Why do they put? I get so mad. 121 is how many paid. They put these things on multiple pages.
Yeah.
For God knows what reason. It's absolutely outrageous.
We should also say that we have Coach Maury called an audible.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that right now. Yeah. Actually, the plan was to stream this final table on Saturday, June 14th.
Yep.
Now, problem is that it's just about to hit midnight and there's still 50 players left. So not really sure we're going to get to a final table, or if we do, it'll probably be something like 9 p.m.
Yeah, exactly.
And that ain't going to really work for streaming. So called an audible, and as things happen to work out, Daniel Negreanu is going deep in the 10K Limit Hold'em Championship. So we're going to swap in that Limit Hold'em Championship. Out goes the seniors. Sorry, you guys play too slow. Not our fault. And then we'll stream the MinBet Championships of the world. What the hell does that say?
That says Jeremy Osmus eliminated 12th place from the Limit Hold'em Championship.
God damn it.
Victor Blum got him.
Of course, Victor Blum got
Another
him.
min cash for Jeremy Osmus.
What were the hands?
It was 6s for Osmus.
Of course, it had the best hand.
4s for Victor Blum.
Exactly. It's even worse than I thought. I thought it was, you'd be like, get king 9. No, he's got freaking 4s.
The flop came 7, 4, 3.
Fucking outrageous.
It gets worse. Turns a 5.
Oh. I'm leaving the show. What the hell is this?
Rivers a 3. See you later, Jeremy Osmus.
Oh my God. I hope he hit him with that little Stanley mug or whatever the hell he had on the table.
Yeah, nah.
Come on. What is this? What is that? What is that hand? Come on.
Quote from Jeremy after busting. Wow, nice hand.
Yeah, real nice hand, Victor. Real nice freaking hand. You get it in drawing dead. Twice. You were drawing dead in this hand twice. You were dead pre and you were dead on the turn. But no, you somehow just win this hand. I mean, just absolutely crazy. I know he wasn't drawing dead for everyone out there, but still, for all intents and purposes, he was drawing effing dead. Yep. Ridiculous. I mean, come on. What are you going to do, right?
No, Jeremy won't be at the final table when we turn on PokerGO tomorrow, but Daniel Negreanu and Victor Blum, they may be there.
What an absolute joke that is. Just a freaking joke. All right, the Monster Stack. 2,681 entries today on day 1C. So last year, 8,703 entries total. They had 3 total starting flights.
Mm-hmm.
This year, they have 4 total starting flights. Right now, as things stand through these first 3 flights, they have 6,316 entries. So on Saturday's day 1D, that is the added flight, they need 2,387 in order to meet last year's total. Because they had 2,681 today, I'm guessing they're going to smash through that.
Yeah.
Probably going to get 4,000 at least tomorrow.
Unders.
So, what? Really?
It's a freeze out, remember?
So?
Like I said, unders.
All right, I'll take over 4,000.
Okay. Coffee?
Sure.
Done.
Sure. I've bought the last 3 coffees, by the way. You think you just owe anyway.
That is actually true. I love 2 coffees.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. All right, so they need 2,387. I'll take over 4,000. You have under 4,000. The people out there will hold us accountable. I'm obviously more bullish on the WSOP than you are. I just want that on record.
Wow. Calling me out. Shots fired.
I'm just saying the people heard it,
4,000 is a big number. That's all I'm saying. A lot of people have punched their ticket today too already.
They only need 1,319 more than today. I don't think that's that hard. I feel like a lot of people, because it's a Saturday flight, a lot of people are just going to come in and fire the Saturday flight. That's how this works.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at. The $1,000 buy-in PLO that kicked off today. How many entries does this thing get up to? Almost 2,000. 1,932.
It's 290 players in the money.
Mike Leah leading the way. Look who's fifth in chips.
Let me guess.
John Reardon Plumbing is fifth in chips. I mean, just he has to be just making so many flushes. It's just fucking crazy out there. Jeff Madsen's doing well. Chris Vitch, Andy Seth, Ben Ludlow looks like he's got chips. I have no idea if these chip counts are right, but this is what I'm going with. Ryan Reese, Benny Glauser, Barney Boatman's
Benny Glauser's on the rail here watching the horse. So
no. See,
he might not be.
I can't handle.
But you touched on 1,932 entrants. 290 are in the money. 237K for first. Down
are they already,
last year.
Are they already in the money?
Yes,
they're there. Okay.
Down from last year that had 2,212. Today we're going to speak at the next event also down. So today's not a good day for the trend up.
What was also down? The Razz?
The 1,500 Razz. We'll move on to that. 472 entrants. 126K for first there. Last year 547. So pretty much, 70 less than last year. But so today, not the best day for entrants for the two starting events.
Is Mickey in the Razz?
He is in the Razz. He bagged, he messaged us in the group. He bagged, I think, 79K at last break.
Yeah, that's not a bag.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a bag.
Haven't bagged yet.
Hopefully he bags big.
David Shmuel is currently the chip leader per Poker News. He won a bracelet already.
Correct.
And then he finished second or third when Benny Glauser won his second bracelet. Johannes Becker is up there. Alan Lee, Phil Hui, Ryan Honig. Ryan Honig's having a summer.
He's crushing.
Absolutely crushing. Our friend Matt Savage, who decided to call me out on social media or in an article on poker.org for God knows what reason. He's just entirely wrong. It's just absolutely outrageous. I mean, this guy. I have a bone to pick.
Uh-oh.
You know how you were like, Rich, I need like this ducky meter?
Yeah, it's gonna come up after the segment, the oopsie meter.
Yeah, I need a meter for the bones that I have to pick.
The bone picking meter.
Where even is this article?
I only saw a screenshot that you guys put in the chat. I didn't really go digging for it.
This one, Savage Rules. This guy. This freaking
Read
guy.
it out. Read it.
I'm just gonna read the part where there's a header here that says coloring up is essential.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, for the most part.
Technically.
He wrote, I try to explain the reasons and players seem to understand, but I've had arguments with Matt Clark and Donnie Peters. Shout out Matt Clark. This is about, players having so many chips. He says, they say they want to have all these chips on the table, that it looks so much better for TV and that it's going to draw in a lot of people to watch the game. Okay, no, you're exaggerating. I say it looks better. And it does look better.
Yeah.
On TV tables when you don't have 4 chips. When a guy has 2 million chips and he's got 6 chips on the table, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
And everyone says stuff about it on social media when it happens. Like, why does it look like no one has any chips?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just have some chips.
Yep.
It's just a better, entertaining product. There's a reason why, if you look up, like, I don't know, YouTube thumbnails all over the place, they use the ones with a ton of chips in them.
Exactly. People want to see that.
or when people are talking about money, they don't put 3/4 up on the screen. No, they put a boatload of cash.
Yeah.
Because that's sexy.
Yep.
Okay, so for 1 table or 2 tables or 3 tables, depending on like what point you are on the main event or another event, you can have some extra chips on the table. Now, listen, we don't got to go back to 2004 and have 35,000 stacks of 20 for each player. Jamie Gold, Paul Wassiga was absurd. Yes, I get it.
Beautiful.
But like, you can still have some sort of middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that this is going to like attract droves of people to poker or to watch the game, but it is going to look better.
Yeah.
Hands down. So 1, don't put words in my mouth. 2, I'm right. Okay? So just stop with this nonsense. It's absolutely ridiculous. And not only when you color up, do you make it look worse? You also make way more work for the players and the dealers who have to constantly make change and sort the whole situation out. So
100%.
stop with this nonsense, okay? Just absolutely stop with it. So that's that. I'm heated. Matt's over in the Razz too. Hopefully he is. Hopefully he has to bring it in for 13 orbits. All right, what's next? Can you help me? What are you looking up? What are you doing?
I'm trying to find this message someone sent me. I got my oopsie meter.
The ducky thing?
Yeah, I made an oopsie earlier in the series, and then I made another one. So Rich is going to put a little oopsie meter somewhere, like here or here.
Is he actually going to do that? Or
you better do it. That's why we pay him the big bucks. The other day, we talked about Nick Schulman winning 3 10K no limit deuce events, and we talked about other people who've done it. Adam Friedman, the main event winners, etc. Billy Boyd. I missed one. I missed a legend. Billy Baxter. Billy Baxter, he has 7 bracelets, and 5 of them are in no limit deuce to 7. Now, 1975, 1K bind, that was the only no limit deuce. 78 was a 10K, 82 was a 10K. And in 87 and 93, the bind dropped to 5K. So essentially, it's the same event at a different price point. So you can argue that he has technically won 5 of the same event, just like we kind of made a little asterisk for Billy Boyd. So we missed that guy. I don't know how I missed Billy Baxter. So apologies to the listeners out there for making a boo-boo, little ducky oopsie meter. But as a reward for having to endure my unprofessional researching, I got a new code word today. So if you go to pgt.com/Gleamsy, you can see all our promotions. There's a podcast one on Gleam. You enter in a password, you can get bonus raffle tickets, as well as if you follow us, subscribe, all this stuff. And if you win, you get a seat in the PGT $1 Million Championship to represent us, the PokerGO podcast, essentially sit next to Daniel Negreanu. Probably not Jeremy Osmus at this rate because he can only min cash, but
well, did you see, I'm looking at the hand again right now. I mean, this is outrageous. I can't even believe
he's up on tangent, guys. But okay, you guys focus on me.
I'm going to need to go to some meetings.
See in this. The $1 Million PGT $1 Million Championship, $500K for first. The password for this week, or this episode, is going to be Baxter. I think that's fair. Baxter, Baxter. Put that in. You get, you know what? Instead of 10 additional raffle tickets, I'm going to make it 15. I feel generous today. 15 raffle tickets. You normally get 1 for just following us on Twitter. So 15, if you put in Baxter as the secret code word in the promotion, 15 raffle tickets. I'm just super generous today. So if you haven't done it, you guys got to get it.
Guys is giving out raffle tickets, won't give out hats. I mean,
I'll give out hats. You got to come and get them. You got to earn them. But I made the boo-boo. So this is the way I apologize to the people, the listeners out there. This is my apology with raffle tickets. So 15 raffle tickets. Code word Baxter, Baxter. There it is.
I had something that I was going to say as well. Oh, yeah. So you were talking about how Billy Baxter's events were like the same event, but different price points.
Yeah.
I heard on the broadcast today that, they said the 100K high roller started in 2018. But I was thinking like, well,
was the one drop?
I mean, yeah, the one drop was the event before. I mean, yes, it was a kind of a different event.
I didn't count that. This is a 100K high roller. That was a 111,011 whatever buy-in with donations to charity. It was
basically it was 100K after the money went to the charity.
I view this one
it's like the
different.
Same event.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's like it's not that I don't think that they're different events. I would almost have to just talk it through a little more. I wouldn't say like, hey, this event started in 2018. I would say, they used to have this other event, and then it kind of transitioned to now this new event. Okay. Like that's how I think you get through it.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
And there's it's not just that event. There's obviously a couple events that they kind of change, but they're kind of similar. So
I guess with the 50K PPC, that's a good example, right? Started as the 50K H.O.R.S.E Championship, it was called. Yeah. And then it evolved into the Poker Players Championship.
Yeah. So is the 50K H.O.R.S E, because it was called the 50K H.O.R.S E.
Correct.
And then they renamed it.
Yeah, for a few years. And then
technically those are different events.
Yeah, but the lineage is the same.
No,
event.
I understand,
Yeah.
but it's the lineage that you need to hold intact.
But also, if we're arguing it, the 100K is always no limit. The 50K PPC, it's been 5 games, 6, 7, 8, 9 games.
Final table, no limit hold.
Final table, no limit. Has had many different
It's
variations.
been all over the place.
But, the lineage, the Chip Reese Trophy, I guess, starting from when David Chip Reese won it, all the way through to, Brian Razz, Michael Mizrahi, all these great guys that have won this event. Daniel Negreanu, obviously, defending champion. I think it's, regarded as being the one event, even though it's gone through different alliterations. So I guess in the same vein, we could probably talk about the big one for one drop, 100K, kind of evolving into this 100K high roller that we have now. I think you could argue that, and I'd be okay with it.
You want to know how I know that I'm going to win this bet that we have on the over 4,000?
Are you already looking at the app and it says 2,700 or something?
No, is that true?
Oh, I'll pull it right now.
No, but that would be awesome. Because they only have one event tomorrow, and it's a 10K.
Yep. That's where I.
That's why I know.
Can I buy out for half a coffee?
That's why I know that they're planning for like 6K. Okay, they're ready to go. Hold on, don't tell me. Let me guess. 536 signed up for tomorrow. How many?
More.
How many?
660.
Oh, baby, let's go.
Yeah,
let's go. I love it. Absolutely freaking love it. Look up the 10K Big O Championship that starts on Saturday. Who signed up for that?
Oh, who signed up for it? I thought you meant like Big O Championship.
Matthew Belcher?
Who else would be a favorite? Who else could possibly be in that already?
I got no idea.
Who's a Big O guy? I bet you like Ronald Kaiser or Dylan Weissman, maybe.
Ronald Kaiser's a good one.
14 entrants.
Ronald Kaiser's a good one.
Alan Lee, probably.
Well,
Tommy Lee.
Alan Lee's in a tournament right now.
Oh, he's on the PLO8. Oh, yeah. That okay. No Belcher.
Okay. I mean, I don't even know if he plays.
I don't even know. Kwanzo. He's the most notable player that is in. Yevgeny Timoshenko.
There you go. Yevgeny's back.
Yeah. So that's the two notable players of the 14 that are in.
You know who else I saw today? Kind of random playerish. Paul Sokolov.
How is that random? He plays a lot of events.
But yeah, but I feel like I haven't seen him in years. Maybe I just haven't seen him. He's in the 5K seniors.
Okay.
He's over there. Or he was over there.
Yeah.
Grinding away. All right. I think that's good for us.
Yeah.
What do you think? Oh.
Right.
I think we screwed that one part up. Yeah, whatever. We'll figure it out. Rich can figure this end part out. Anyway, his name is Tim Duckworth. My name is Donnie Peters, and we will talk to you guys next time.
Peace.